Hi guys, it's a bit early for Fool of the Week, but Richard Tice, the Reform UK MP, certainly makes the grade. Now, he appeared on the Nick Ferrari show where he was extremely angry that Nigel Farage, his boss, was not invited to some anti-immigration summit. And he suggested that French fishermen should be punished when it came to stopping the boats. Have a listen to this.
Nigel Farage is clearly very disappointed not to be given the same opportunity to meet President Macron that Kemi Badenoch and Ed Davey are being given, because what the Prime Minister should be saying is what we're saying, which is, Monsieur President, either you stop the migrant boats or we'll stop your fishing boats. It's a very simple message, and all of a sudden you'd have French fishermen clogging up the Champs-Élysées, and this issue would possibly stop. We need some proper negotiating leverage.
Is that what is known as the Entente? Is that the Entente Cordiale, Mr. Tice, that we suddenly stop their fishing vessels?
Well, at the end of the day, you can be a critical friend, and that's what we need to do, because at the moment, frankly, the French authorities, the gendarmes, they're having a laugh. I mean, we send them the money, they give the French gendarmes fishing lessons, and the odd Stanley knife, that just purely for the BBC's viewing figures, they sort of put one knife into one boat. I mean, the whole thing is outrageous.
Okay. Perhaps the reason Nigel Farage was not invited is because he only has 5 MPs. Oh, no, 4 MPs, isn't it? Because one of the dodgy ones had to resign. Okay. Nigel Farage is not a major political force. Anyway, Nigel Farage is not interested in solutions, although I don't believe Kemi Badenoch is either. But what would be the point in inviting Nigel Farage to some sort of summit like this when he's not interested in actual solutions? And here's one of the solutions here. Punish French fishermen. Now, what does Richard Tice actually think would happen? He thinks, well, we can use this as leverage. The French would go to the European Union and say, hey, Brussels, the UK is not upholding its side of the agreement. Remember the agreement you signed with the United Kingdom government. And the EU would say, well, you're right. And would the EU pick the side of a member state or a non-member state? I think that's a simple question to answer. So the UK would then be in a battle between itself and the EU, not with France. France would be sitting back and saying, let the EU do its job. And the EU would impose sanctions on the UK. To achieve what goal? To stop a few boats. To stop people who want to get to Britain, who don't want to stay in France. Now, the other point he's saying here is, well, what we should do is stop French boats. Okay, how are you going to do that? Because once again, if these boats are operating in these waters legally, it's separate if they are breaking the rules, but if they're operating legally, what, you're going to instruct the Royal Navy to punish them in some way, to attack the boats, to try and sink them? What are you talking about when you say stop the boats, stop the French boats? If it's about not issuing licenses, okay, but once again, you're going to be picking fights with the European Union. I don't think Reform UK have thought out this solution very well. And once again, as we understand, when it comes to the small boats, these people don't want to stay in France. They want to get to Britain. So you can stick a knife in a few boats. The French police can do that. But that will stop that boat for a day. The people will get in the next one. So you need a proper solution, and a proper solution, as Zoe Gardner and others have said, is to create a safe route, like what happened with Ukraine or Hong Kong. This attempt to be macho and punish these people in France or in the Channel is not working. Has it stopped the boats? Has a tough approach stopped the boats? No, it hasn't. Now, while this is all very absurd, this idea, let's punish the French fishermen and it's going to just create problems for Britain, and it's not going to help the situation, I wouldn't be surprised if Keir Starmer actually listens to Nigel Farage, because he seems to be attempting to pander to Reform UK voters at the moment. So while the idea of let's punish French fishermen is absurd, I wouldn't be surprised if Farage's idea is taken on board by the UK government. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.